You buy a $10,000 bond at 3%. Rates go up. Now it's 10,000 at 6%. Right? Fair? That makes sense? You bought 2 years ago. You bought a bond. It was 10,000. It was a 10-year maturity, and this is a 10-year. And then now the new bonds pay 6%. What happened to the 3% bond? Its value, up or down? Down. It went way down. Because this thing pays 3%, this one pays 6%, they cost the same. So this one's going to pay me $300 a year, and this one's going to pay me $600 a year. So then you would calculate the amount of payments you would get. Most bonds pay like annually or quarterly. So in this case, 6 times 10. 600 times 10, so this is going to pay me $6,000 over the life of my bond, and this one's going to pay me $3,000. So more or less, if they went from 3 to 6, like it'd be safe to say that about 30% of the value of this bond was eroded, right? Because now that we know the coupon payments are going to be $3,000, what's a guy willing to pay to get his quasi 6%, right? I know that I'm going to get $3,000 on this $10,000 bond. The bank paid 10 grand for this bond, but the bank needs to sell this bond. So as a buyer, what are you willing to pay for this bond that kicks out $3,000 a year? I'm doing this math in my head. I'm going to say, why would I say 5,000? Because 3,000 is half of 6,000. So if I bought 2 of these for 5 grand, that would be equivalent to me buying 1 of these for 10 grand. So in this case, the interest rate doubled, the bond value got cut in half. So the banks hold lots and lots of bonds so they can get some money coming in. But then when they have to sell the bonds, now they're selling them for half of what they purchased them for, which is what caused the Friday, Sunday, Monday debacle. But now, so we've got that. But now today, your 10-year, $10,000 bond pays 4%. So the value of the 6% bonds went up, right? Am I losing you?
Yeah, you're losing me.
So let's think about coupon payments. So what we're looking at is what our bonds. We bought a financial instrument, right? A $10,000 bond at 4% is going to pay $4,000 over the life of it. A $10,000 bond at 6% is going to pay $6,000. A $10,000 bond at 3% is going to pay $3,000, right? So what you're seeing is like your 10 grand in this case returns you $3,000. Your 10 grand in this case returns you $4,000. Your 10 grand in this case returns you $6,000, right? It's 10 grand. So what happens is this was purchased, and this was purchased. And then the value, the book value specifically, what someone would be willing to pay for each one of these today is all going to be different. Okay? Right? So which one would you rather buy? Would you rather buy the one that makes you 4 grand, 6 grand, or 3 grand if the cost was the same?
6.
Yes, fair. So winner chicken dinner. And we can put like, oh my God, this one makes the most money. I picked this one. But if you could get this for the right price or get this one for the right price, would you buy it? How would you determine what the right price is? The math is super simple here, right? What's half of 6?
3.
So what would you pay for this? Half, right? Yee. So now this is worth 5,000. We just defined its book value. What's this one worth?
6,000.
This one's worth 6,000? Sure, right? You could, let's call it 6. We just defined the book value of this one, and then the book value of this one is, yay. But then you're going to look at Is it 9 years left, 8 years left, 7 years left? Because some of the 600s over 10 years got plucked off already. So this is assuming that no payments, no coupon payments have been made. But so that's the book value. So what happens is I owned this yesterday. It was worth $5,000, but interest rates went down from 6 to 4. Now my bond was worth $5,000. Now it's worth $6,000. So that's what, like, when rates dropped, then bond values went up because I had now this one, if rates are now at 4%, so now today I spend 10 and get 4, is this one worth more? Because this person spends 10 and gets 6. Right? So as interest rates go up, bond values fall. And as interest rates go down, bond values go up. Because remember, like, people are buying bonds at whatever rate that was that day. And if rates continue to go up, then the value of the bond drops. But when rates go back down, then the value of this increases because it's like, shit, I got one that pays 6. Now, your 10 grand only buys one that pays 4. So that's what's happening in the markets. So it's really good for real estate. The 10-year treasury is down to 3.5. It was at 4 on Wednesday. So that's a 0.5% is 50 basis points. An entire percent is 100 basis points. So we had a 50 basis point drop, which increased bond values, which helped give banks more liquidity overnight. Because now all of a sudden their shit got worth more money. And that's an opportunity for us to go sell some houses because rates are cheaper this weekend than they were last week by a lot. And it looks like it'll continue to do so. It's easier for your sellers to sell. It's easier for buyers to buy. So we want this to happen. This is good. And it's fun to read about too. Our houses are like bonds. Rates drop, house values go up. Rates go up, house values go down. It's called an inverse relationship, right? So here's a positive correlation. They go up together, right? And then an inverse relationship is when one goes up and the other goes down. So in this case, this could be rates, and this is value. Lower interest rates increase bond value. Lower interest rates increase real estate value. Inverse correlation, right? One goes up, the other comes down. What would be an example of a positive correlation? Interest rates, monthly payment on all things. Car payment, house payment, credit card payment. What else? Muscle and strength. Alcohol and drunkenness. Alcohol consumption and drunkenness. You know, like, it's pretty much either one or the other. It's either a positive correlation or an inverse correlation. So just concentrate on this. At the end of the day, everything I said boils down to this. Lower rates, higher value. You can Google the 2-year and the 10-year treasury are what we look at. All this boils down to that. And that we know that bonds and real estate are connected. When the bond market does good, the real estate market does good. When the bond market does bad, the real estate market does bad.